So we do this this time. So on the panel, if you don't know, we've got Alan Hamlin, who is the founder and lead developer of a company called Marketly Suite. It's a very cool Twitter application that enables you to monitor and respond to stuff on Twitter. So he's got some interesting ideas, I know, broadly for marketing as well. Mark Smuren, who you've just met. Marshall Sponder, who you'll meet later as well, but he's very well known around the world as one of the top bloggers and analysts for social media monitoring. And myself, although I run conferences, I also do monitoring and help small businesses as well.
And Marshall's blog, what domain?
Webmetrics Guru.
Right.
That's
Webmetricsguru.com.
And also there's a new one called Social Media Analytics Book, which will be for the book I'm writing for the Royal on social media analytics that will be out next week.
There you go. There's the pitch. So, real life things. So the idea, first off, is just really to ask the audience, you guys, what issues you're facing with social media monitoring. So, has anyone got a burning question to help you with your business that you want to chuck at the panel here? Yeah,
you talk a lot about finding out about what your customers are talking about. Which really, if you could give an example of how you go about doing that, say on a given topic, I don't know, credit cards and broadband or something like that, how would you go about finding, just in terms of, you've got the queries you can use on Google, Twitter and Facebook, are those kind of the standard ones that you use, or?
Okay, well, yeah, Marshall, do you want to have a quick go at that?
About how you...
In a minute, or 2 minutes.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
So you talk a lot about finding what your customers are talking about around a given topic.
Yes. How you would do it with Google?
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of...
Well, basically you have to come up with some phrase or keyword that, we're looking for, and then Google would be a manual process because you would need to, look at the results and hone in. So actually Google would probably, and then we look for the highest ranking stuff because that's how Google works. And then you would look into the content. You know what I mean?
Do you mean through Google Alerts, or do you mean just on
in general?
In general, right. I mean, if you're just going to use Google, well, what generally I do when I look for, is to look at the top results, and then hone in and see how well they're syndicated out in mainstream media. That's one thing. There's a piece of this that's syndication based with Google. To see how much Google's picking up the content, other people picking up the content. That would tell me if there's influencers, for example.
How can you tell if something's been syndicated?
Well, you would see, if you would take, say, the title of an article or the title of something and stick that into Google, see how many other times the search results on that same exact stream, which is very unlikely, especially putting quotes, they don't tell you how many times they picked up by, amplified by Google. I mean, not by Google, but by others.
Yeah, so I sort of view this as a two-part question. You need to monitor what people are saying about you on one part and what they're saying to you on another part. So if you have a Facebook page or you have a Twitter account, you need to monitor what people are posting to your Facebook page. If they're mentioning you with @ replies or hashtags, tools like Nutshell Mail, which is sort of like a social version of Google Alerts on steroids. That's pretty much what it does, is it monitors your presence. But if you're looking to see what people are saying about you as a way to monitor your reputation, or if you're looking for sales leads, certainly Google is a great place to start now that they have a social search application, so you can monitor specifically what people are saying through social channels. Also, I believe Twitter, one of the reasons I love Twitter is I think it's one of the best market research tools out there. So depending on what your business is, you can enter in various keywords that are relevant to and find out what people are saying. And I believe there's tools out there, perhaps with Twitter search, I don't know. Yeah, with the advanced search, you can even tag it to location. But those results sort of vary because not everybody has their Twitter location enabled.
Yeah, I was going to say that leads on nicely to what I was going to say is that part of our tool, we have something called reply campaigns. What you can do with that is use it similar to Google AdWords, if any of you have used that. You can set up a campaign and then reply groups within that, which all have keywords for whatever your given niche is. And then with that, you can set up reply templates and negative keywords. And the negative keywords are to exclude matches from the search results. And you can geolocate that as well, so you can do it within a given postal code, zip code, or about what you really want, and you can add that to your negative keywords and enhance what you have.
That sounds like a very good, I was just gonna say, that sounds like a very good way of doing something I was thinking a lot of businesses should be doing, which is monitoring what competitors are doing in the neighborhood, and then responding and saying, oh, the hotel across the street has bed bugs, so we have a couple of rooms that are free, $50 less if you've got 2 days of order in your stay, come over to our hotel, you know, and I think that's totally possible.
Yeah, just to jump in on that as well, is what I tend to do, is one of my little tricks I like, is if you've got competitors, which everyone has, you put in 2 and then their Twitter name, see what all the out replies people are saying to that company. If there's any sort of bad tweets for them, jump in there and say, well, actually, you know, why not have regards?
Very sneaky but effective, I'm sure. So, do we have any other questions then? That was a great lead off. So.
How do you get small businesses you work with to align listening with doing? Because I think that's where the disparity goes. Sometimes actually the fact that you're listening and get involved in the conversation means what I've witnessed is a lot of brands actually do themselves more damage by getting involved in social media in that respect, because they're very quick to respond and say, oh, sorry, you've got a problem, what can we do about it? What's your problem? Tell us about it. But they haven't got anything in the business to back up what they need to do.
Connect it to actually to somebody
so
who deal with.
how do you align what you're doing with what the rest of you do?
Well, I think it's important for all of us to realize is what is your objective with social media marketing, because the tactics vary. If it's to help establish brand awareness, there's tactics for that. If it's for feedback or customer support, there's tactics for that. If it's for market research, there's tactics for that. I think what you're speaking to in particular is about feedback and customer relations, right?
Or just respond. If someone's complaining,
Yeah.
I think what's happened is through social media channels, particularly Twitter, brands, particularly larger ones, have been really quick to pick up on the fact they can say, "Oh, sorry, you've got a problem. Come and talk to us. What can we do about it?" When you go and talk to them, actually their response framework hasn't changed. So you actually have a bigger problem, and the fact that they're talking to you makes your perception worse than it did.
That was actually one of the things that, I mean, you didn't mention it, but in the Zappos sort of case study, they actually sort of turned the organisation on its head, so that their goal, well, that was it, customer happiness. But you can all do that. I mean, when I go and talk to clients, the most important thing is actually to get in there and talk to the CEO or somebody as senior as I can, to get them to understand that this isn't just someone listening, responding, it's about getting it through the organisation as well.
You know, guys, kind of just thinking, when you said that, my mind flashed back to Giles' presentation earlier this morning, where he said that his most success were with the CMOs when he presented. So that does seem to ring a bell. That's where the fulcrum point where you can actually exert leverage.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the deal. Twitter, you have 140 characters. You're not going to resolve someone's problem in 140 characters.
No, you can respond to it.
You can respond to
the point.
The idea is that with Twitter, and Twitter is just one of the many tools in your arsenal. Twitter is where you discover that information and you reach out to them, and then let's bring that conversation into a format, whether it's email or on the phone, where we can actually resolve your problem. So that's something that's very important to remember. Now, what's nice about Twitter is saying, you know, sir, we're very sorry about your problem. Give us a call. Here's our number, or email us so that we can actually resolve this problem. What you're showing is that you are customer centric, that you actually care. And what we hear from small...
I disagree with you, man.
You disagree?
Yeah, I think what the problem is a lot of the time, what brands are exposing themselves as is they're not actually customer centric. What they're doing is, and it's clearly a marketing exercise rather than a...
I think that's
that's really damaging.
Hold on. What I said in the very start of my presentation, that fundamental principle, is that if you suck as a business person at what you do, social media can actually hurt you. And what Twitter will do, when you see that negative content, hopefully you will be open-minded enough to realize, you know, crap, I do kind of suck at what I do, and I should use this feedback constructively so that I can provide a better experience. And study after study shows, because we hear it from small businesses all the time, that I'm afraid to get into social media because I'm afraid of all the negative sentiment. Here's the fact, buddy. I'm not talking to you.
No, that's fine. I talk about it all the time, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, here's the fact. If a conversation is happening